In today's video, I will be showing you how to make a spiced apple cake. First, we will be using 2 apples. I peeled the skin of the apples. After peeling the skin, I did grate. I started using the small side of the grater because again, this is one of my ways of trying to encourage my daughter who doesn't like fruits at all to eat fruits, so I did not really want her to see anything in the cake. But when I started using the small side, I realized that it was getting a lot more mushy than I thought, so I decided to go with the larger side of the holes to grate. So yeah, we are working on an apple spice cake. Hello, if you're here for your first time, I am Patience Kingamuchu, aka Patiji's Cakes and Treats, creating contents on cakes, pastries, and everything in between. You're going to love it right here as I try to upload videos every week. So like I said earlier, after peeling the skin of my apple, I started shredding using the small side, but I realized it was too small, so I went ahead and used the larger holes. So I did shred all the apples. There were 2 of them, which I divided into 4 halves. Just continue to watch as I do this. First of all, is this something you're going to try? With the Thanksgiving season coming, we see people using a lot of spice to make cake, to make food. So this was my own way of saying that, hello, this is fall and we are here for it and we are loving it. Beginning with this apple spiced cake. I continued to shred, and when I was done, I did set that aside. Then in an empty bowl, I will be putting in 1.5 cups of flour over a sieve, because I want to sieve this out. So 1.5 cups of flour. Then I will be adding some cornstarch, 1/2 cup of cornstarch. If you don't really want to do all of this, you can go ahead and use cake flour. Then 1 teaspoon baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. So these constituted my dry ingredients. Also, I added 1/2 teaspoon of salt. If you're using salted butter, you don't need to add the salt, but I was using non-salted butter, so I added the salt, and here I sieved everything because you want to incorporate air into the flour. Once I was done, I added 1/2 cup of white sugar and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. If you're here for your first time and you haven't subscribed, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Turn on your post notification bells for future uploads, and do keep the comment section engaging. Let me know what you think about this recipe. So now, using a whisk, I mixed everything together. The brown sugar adds some caramelized taste to the cake. The white sugar just balances out everything. Here I will be adding 3/4 cup of butter, or 1.5 stick of butter. I will be melting the butter because this recipe calls for melted butter. If you've watched to this point, thank you so much. Just continue to watch. It's quite an easy and fun recipe. Then I will be adding 2 eggs. These eggs are room temperature. I added my eggs and still using my whisk, I mix this together. Again, this is a 1 bowl recipe, quite easy and straightforward. My butter was melted. I poured that in as well. After mixing everything together, the last thing I'll be getting in is the shredded apple. I added 3/4 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. This is where the spices come in to add some great taste to the cake. So after adding this, I now add my shredded apple. I just cleaned it off the plate. Any remains on the plate, I cleaned it off the plate. Again, using my whisk, I mix these together. If you've watched to this point, thank you so much. Just continue to watch. Now, I decided to use my spatula just to give it a thorough mix. And in my already prepared cake pan or a bread loaf pan, I also put up some parchment paper for it to, so that for an easy release. Let me put it that way. So the parchment paper is going to help for an easy release. Yeah, just continue to do this. Just continue to watch as well. I poured everything, as you can see, like I said earlier, just a 1 pan baking mix. So just put everything together in the pan. I use my spatula to flatten everything up, and I heated my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, I just sprayed in some butter. I learned this from Cooking with Cloudy. She's a great baker as well and a great chef. So because I want that beautiful crack on the top of the cake. Sometimes without the butter it does produce a crack, but if you really want to define, you put the butter on top of it, and here you go with the crack. So this cake baked for about 45 minutes, or until when the toothpick inserted, it came out dry at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The cake is heavenly. The spices together with the apple just give a perfect blend. This is a recipe you definitely want to try. You absolutely will love this recipe. So it was time for me to dig in. So I used a knife and I cut it through. Look at that, so bouncy and so spongy and equally moist. Are you still watching? If you have watched to this point, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, life can get bitter. Eat cake to make it sweet. Do something fun to spice up your life. May your life be as beautiful as ever. Again, thanks so much for watching. Bye, and see you next week.